available 3 times every day. These increased rewards also apply to the amount of tuners too. And if you think that's too much, just wait until the next section because it will all make sense.
Yes,
also,
I'm sure.
tacit domains should only have 1 type of echo set, not 2. I think they should
Sure, I can get behind that because, you know, sometimes you just want 1 echo set. Though I guess they would increase the tacit fields. Or you could just come in and be like, no, I want Frosty Resolve and not the spectral bullshit. Doesn't really matter, not a big point of contention.
also put these tacit fields in lore-accurate regions as well, but that's not exactly necessary. No, the next thing we need is an echo experience only section at Yarn. We've got one for character experience and weapon experience. I think we should also have one for echo experience as well. A nice to have thing they could also implement is to remove the non-set elemental damage buffs. If not this, then at the very least make it weighted so that you have a higher chance of getting an on-set elemental damage bonus. I'm tired of getting Spectro on the Glacio set and Glacio on the Spectro set. Now these changes would...
Sure. But again, this comes into conflict with the treadmill. I don't think this is really that big of a deal as far as changes go to the echo farming. Because, you know, you could still roll a fucking flat defense and HP on your first two rolls, and you might as well be, like, fucking breaking yourself by rolling a 15 on that, because there's no point. That echo is dead, throw it into another echo. There's no point. So, that's the thing, it's like making on-set stats more certain or predictable, or, you know, easier to manipulate would be better. Because, you know, you'll still get fucked on the substats, let's be honest here. You know, especially if you're trying to min-max and trying to improve a character that already has a bit of an echo set, you know, going, you know, already has something going on.
Decide whether it's for show
like,
or for battle.
This echo set, this crit rate is near bottom, because the minimum is 6.3, so that's the next step over. You know, but the crit damage is nice, but I also have 2 defense stats on this, so I will definitely roll on this at some point. You know, the Scuttle Waddle is lacking a fucking crit damage, but that crit rate goes crazy. That's nearly fucking max that you can get, and it has some regen and attack, so that's nice. Though it has 2 dead rolls for Carlotta, heavy attack, and basic. You know, it's kind of a... You know, the substats will always fuck you in the end. Again, this is an okay echo, but definitely can be improved. Same with this one, can still be improved, though this one's quite nice. You know, they're both nice. You know, you're always gonna have this sort of thing with substats, because that's quote-unquote the end game of the farm. You know, you don't care about this stuff, you know, it's a 1 cost attack, boom, go for it. You know, start rolling on it. These are quite a bit more of a pain in the ass, but, you know, still doable. But again, it would take away from the treadmill, though I don't think it would take away as much as his other suggestions.
Would address some of the echo experience issues and also some of the RNG, but let's not forget there's also another aspect to Wuthering Waves echoes: tuners. Now, I've heard many people get annoyed and say that they should just remove tuners altogether, and quite frankly,
This is this guy, this handsome Coomer's take. Removing tuners, according to Tectone, wouldn't really change that much, and technically it wouldn't, other than the fact that, you know, you have one less piece of mat of material that plays a part in the whole dynamic. But the thing is that, like, I think ultimately Tectone's solution is actually, you know, as far as core changes, is actually the most reasonable one. Because you're still gonna get fucked on substats, you just don't have this annoying resource in tuners. Because, you know, for me, I mean, tuners I'm not doing hot on those. I'm not doing hot on those. Let me just take a quick peek. Where the fuck are they? Yeah, I have 151 tuners. That is 15 rolls of an echo. Realistically speaking, this is about 5 echoes tops. And that is generous. That is generous because that would mean that I actually get to level 3. Which, you know, is not that expensive, relatively speaking. But, you know, the thing with the system is that it's always going to be where you don't quite have the echoes to spend the experience on, and then you don't spend the tuners on them, obviously. You're not going to roll on fucking defense echoes, obviously, unless you're building Tao Chi for some reason. You know, that's like an endgame goal when you're building fucking subpar characters. You know, fair enough. I'd love to get to that point, but I'm far from it. But it's like, that's why I don't think Tectone's take on just removing tuners is that bad. And in my opinion, Ryuuku Senpai over here has a much worse suggestion.
Don't really agree. Like, I get it. I totally get it. But I'm going to argue that Kuro should keep them in the game. However, I think there should also be a massive overhaul about how tuners are used in-game. This is how they fix tuners. Right now, when you upgrade an Echo at levels 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, new subsets are...
See, this was a big critique of this video for myself when I first saw it. You gave Saint Tantus a fall out of chair moment. And you don't want to do that when it comes to discussing echoes. Do not ever plus 25 an echo. Do not put that into your video, because that's a gimme for him to dodge the conversation altogether by spending 5 minutes talking about how you shouldn't do this. I agree with him 100%. You should not be plus 25 in echoes. It's fucking stupid. Because, I mean, you have all this shit to barge through it when it comes to RNG. You have to hope to the high heavens that all of that experience was not a fucking waste. And oftentimes it is because of the nature of the system, and unless you're extremely lucky, this plus 25ing is not worth it. We get it. Saint Tantus, please stop pausing every video on this moment. And people that make these videos, please stop doing this. Because that gives them a free out to not talk about it. Or to talk about it, rather.
Unlocked after you tune them for 10 each. And if you get bad rolls on substat RNG, you can recycle these echoes to get a...
Honestly, it hurts me to see it too, because it's stupid. Why would you do it? It's like, it doesn't... It's not like it takes that... okay, I'm turning into Saint Tantus here. I'm turning into Saint Bot.
Portion of that experience and tuners back to reuse. However, what I think they should do is that at those respective levels, the substat type, but not the amount, should be visible. However, they are locked and do not affect any character.
I'd be fine with this, generally speaking. It would be okay. You can right away see if it's worth investing in, I guess. And, you know, that's fair enough. I honestly don't have that much to say about it. I don't think it plays into either camp too much to be a big deal.
That equips them until you tune them. This will help players decide when and where to effectively and efficiently use these tuners. But here are the new mechanics I think they should implement. Right now the cost to tune an echo is 10, but for 5 times that amount, 50 tuners, they should allow you to re-roll the subset type before unlocking, which is where you get hit with some more RNG to determine how much attack percent you get, for example. So RNG plays a role in what other subset you get and also how much of that subset you get as well. But that's not all. For 20 times the amount, 200 tuners, I think they should allow you to specifically choose the subset you want. But just like before with the subset re...
And there it is. There it is. This is the brick moment for the open world in Wuthering Waves. Let's think about this for a little second. You know, I had to watch this video, I had to watch Saint react to it, I had to watch Tectone react to it, I had to watch fucking Cab react to it, and I tried to watch fucking Ethan, but it's too much positive streamer energy mid YouTube video, so I couldn't really do it. You know, just do the video, you can thank chat later. I'm not a streamer, so, you know, I don't understand the struggle, but let's think about it. Why would you farm echoes once you get your on-set echo?
I alone will decide whether
You
it's for
got
show
your
or for
Abyssal
battle.
Patricius with Glacio damage, right? Cool. You know what you do now? You never farm for this slot on your free cost ever again. Never again. Why do it? Plus 25 it and just sit on it. Sit on it and just grind out your fucking tuners. Grind them out. Here, I got 200 tuners. Give me that crit rate. Whatever it rolls, you now have a locked-in crit rate. I mean, maybe better to use this. Crit damage, okay. Let's pretend I rolled on this. I gave 200 tuners, I rolled crit damage, and it gave me 16.2. Okay. Now, this piece is locked in. I gave another 200 tuners. Crit rate. Whatever it gives me, it's locked in. And ER. I gave 200 tuners. It's locked in. I gave for resonance skill, whatever, you know, attack, doesn't matter. These free tend to be the bread and butter, and it's what you always want on your echoes, generally speaking. I can't really think of a situation where it's completely useless, but, you know, maybe a healer doesn't quite need that much crit rate or crit damage. I don't have Shorekeeper, I don't know how she works. But, you know, Verena doesn't really need this. So, why would you ever farm... Why would I farm Sentry Construct anymore? Why would I ever do that anymore? Why would I not just sit and camp Tacit Fields every day so I can get my tuners and I can reroll it if I want to? My 6-point free can turn into a fucking 10. I don't know, the hard cap doesn't matter. You know, what's the point? It's locked in. Oops. It's locked in. Why would I ever fucking do it? And if you want to add re-rolling substats, you don't even have to go get new pieces. I can just fucking sit there with this Abyssal Patricius and just fucking re-roll the heavy attack, defense, and defense. And then I can do whatever, you know, and then I can keep re-rolling it as I see fit. You know, it's an investment. Think of how much fucking investment you put into farming echoes. You know, farming echoes takes time, especially in the old world. Fucking Jinzhou feels pretty shit to farm, especially when you're fucking juxtaposing it against Renacida. It feels like shit because you can't fly. Why would you ever farm this shit? If you can re-roll them and you can pick the substats. You can basically cut out like however much time you have in your day to farm echoes. You could fucking pop the food, get your fucking echoes. You know, I don't have that much, but you know, this isn't that hard to get. You can fucking sit there and just fucking farm Tacit Fields ad nauseum. Or whatever mechanic they introduce or event that gives you fucking tuners. Why would you farm? Why would you farm anymore? Why would you explore this beautiful and lovely world that I personally really like? I know a lot of people feel like this is really generic, but, you know, they're oversaturated because they played 500 gacha games and, you know, it's just like, it's too generic or something. Okay, fine, whatever. For me, I mean, obviously it depends on what kind of player you are, but if you can lock these in...
I alone will decide whether it's for show or for battle.
Why would you do it? Why would you do any of it? Why would you go out into the overworld once you get your piece? If it's the piece you want, you know, moonlit clouds with glacial damage and electro damage and arrow damage, whatever kind of damage, once they're in, you just basically have kind of a longer road. Long term, it's a lot better of an investment than just like spending fucking 2 hours or whatever farming echoes and gambling, putting you down your fucking 10 chips at the poker table and being like, okay, here's your fucking flat defense, HP, and attack rolls. And you're like, okay, cool, well, this piece is fucking trash. I think, depending on what kind of player you are, this will brick the overworld and the open world section completely. It's done. It's done deal. And I don't think Ryuuku really understands that. The open world, you know, obviously the open world has more than just echoes, but the echoes are kind of what ties it all together. Like, when you're running around Jinzhou, up until recently, I've still found random stuff in the open world that is not marked by a loot mapper or any of that stuff. Where it's like, you know, fuck, here's your 4 branches, here's your 4 logs, break them, chest pops out. I had no way of knowing that. You know, getting minerals, mining, you know, fucking mint picking. All of that stuff you do while you farm echoes. If you want, like, let's take a look at my Sanwa, for example. I want to max around.
Say. Like this?
If I want to pick some flowers, I'll just go to collection spots and the game will show me all of them. And I would not consider that playing in the open world. I can just do that. It's not gonna happen organically because I'm farming echoes to build my characters. I will just sit in a fucking tacit field because I got 1 echo that is on set and I can fucking constantly throw tuners at it just to make sure I got what I want. Sure, I'm a min-maxer at heart. It's just that, you know, I'm limited by the game, but, you know, as I've said before, the treadmill, all of that, your fucking... Get the fuck up. Your fucking hamster wheel, it's part of the game. It's part of the game, and you can't take it out of the game, because then why would you play the game? As I've said, I'm not a player that's, like, maxed out on everything. I don't clear TOA on every reset. I've never cleared TOA. I don't have the tactical holograms in the overworld done. The fucking Renacida ones, they're fucking sitting at a bare goddamn minimum. I got 334, and I'm like, you know, I'll get to it when I get to it. When I feel like it. But someone like Santantis, this fucking guy, I'm sure he has it all maxed out, so why the fuck would he play the game if, you know, he, can't farm for echoes because, you know, he just has to log in, farm some tuners in the tacit field, and, you know, that's done deal. I don't think his argument of it being free to play is all that valid, of it being pay to win, sorry, is all that valid because, you know, unless the game starts taking into account, like, you know, a boss takes into account that you spend fucking $300 to, you know, S6 a character, and, you know, your whole roster, and then you threw a bunch of fucking money at the game to get the perfect rolls. Unless the game starts factoring that in, it's not really a problem, because pay to win usually involves some degree of PvP, and if, you know, TOA, or, you know, tactical holograms, or whimpering wastes, or whatever, it started, factoring in clear times, then yes, it would be pay to win. But in the way that he says, it's not really that big of an issue. So why would you explore these wonderful locations if you have the matching set? You can play the RNG game if you like, but a certain section of players is just not gonna do that. They're just gonna have no incentive, and myself included. Because it's like, okay, I got a piece. I'm just gonna fucking farm passively, just gonna log in. And honestly, at a certain point, that's just gonna be boring. It's gonna be shit. Because, I actually like farming echoes in Arena Meseta. Because you can fly, you can do all this stuff, you just soaring through the air. And you're just like, oh man, this is so nice. I'm just like flying through the air. There's some fucking cuddle waddles with the gang of goddamn plushies. I'm gonna get in there and wreck some shit. Why would you do any of this? Why would you fly through the map and, home in like a goddamn vulture on a bunch of echoes? Why would I do this? Why would I engage with any of this if I could just fucking sit and farm tacit fields or whatever other mechanic they add that allows me to, actually get fucking tuners and XP and all that? Why would I engage with any of this world? And that's why it would be a horrendous addition. For some players, sure. For some others, no. But, gotta keep in mind the fucking players. And if you're a fucking whale and they just add a goddamn... I don't know if you can buy tuners or not. I don't think you can. Doesn't quite look like it. Okay, so you can't buy tuners. If Kuro added that mechanic to the game of, you can fucking reroll and just, remove as much RNG as possible, they'll fucking put, here's your fucking 20 tuners or however the fuck many tuners for $10, $5, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter the number details. Like... And then these whales will just sit in these menus. They'll spend money and they'll spend the fucking... They'll just fuck around with the slot machine until the fucking world ends. And honestly, a lot of them will probably quit. And let's be real, a player like me that just does the Lunite subscription and the Battle Pass... Also, the Battle Pass should not be capped at 70. Just make it endless. Because then, all of these dailies just don't really do anything. But these whales are a hell of a lot more valuable to Kuro and all of these devs than I will ever be. Ever in my fucking life. I do not have the disposable income to throw hundreds and potentially thousands of dollars at Kuro games. I don't. So, Ryuuku's suggestion, I'm not even going to say in my opinion. I just think it's a fact. For some players, it's a fact that it will brick the overworld. You have no reason to farm for echoes, even for XP. Because if you just plus 25 these echoes and then, all of these wonderful randomized stats,
whether it's for show or for battle.
You can just decide them. And then you can, just play a little slot machine to make sure you get a bigger number on your substat. That's not going to be good. That's not going to lead to anything good. For some players, they won't care. They'll still fucking do their 10 chips on the table, sure. But if you're patient and smart enough and you realize that long term, you're just better off, especially if your luck is shit. I did a farming run yesterday and all I got was defense, attack, basic attack, and heavy attack. And just flat substats, and I was like, holy shit. I've been complaining a bit on the internet that that Kuro find my goddamn account, and they're throttling it. Who knows, maybe. You know, let's not get too accusatory here. I'm a nobody, so of course not. But, you know, after a certain point, you just kind of like, I'll just roll on the substat value, not the substat itself. I'll invest. And this is dead. Simple as. You're not gonna go around flying in Renacida to pick your fucking olives. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna be doing any of that shit.
The white has been dyed
Because the biggest facilitator of overworld play, past, you know, getting all of this shit maxed out. You know, I have it all maxed out. I'm not flying around these areas to pick olives. I'm not doing that. I'm farming echoes. And I would not be doing that, personally, if I could just sit in the goddamn menu and throw tuners at the goddamn echoes. I wouldn't. It's already kind of bad enough that the tracking system in Wuthering Waves just kind of sucks. It gives you one target at a time. Kuro, please just let me just pick a set and, you know, just fucking highlight everything. Just highlight the one cost, the free cost, whatever. If I want to do fucking 4 sets at a time, just do it as well. Because, you know, you don't get that much time. 30 minutes on the food buff isn't that much time. Especially if you're some kind of schizo and you want to mop the map clean, good luck with that. Just let me be a bit more free with this. So, ultimately,
roll, they should not allow you to choose the amount of that substat that you get. So you could have 12.6% crit damage or 21% crit damage, or anything in between. This allows for...
You're bricking the overworld, Ryuuku. You're bricking the overworld, and that's just the truth of it. That's how it will play out. And what has happened when you brick the overworld? People get disconnected from the game because they don't really have to engage with much of anything. You log in, boom, 120 wave plates, boom, another 120 wave plates on your task field. You did it twice. Hell, if you have way too much disposable income, you're gonna throw astrites at it, and you're just not gonna engage with the rest of the game. That is the biggest sin that that open world game can do, is make the open world fucking useless. If you've ever played The First Descendant, you'll know what I mean. That open world is fucking trash, and there is no point to it because no one does anything there other than running to certain points on the map. Everything in between is fodder. And it's already a bit of a problem in Wuthering Waves because of the tracking system. You know, you have a cuddle waddle here and then you have a cuddle waddle here. Okay, you go here and then you fucking teleport over here, so all of this is fucking skipped. You don't have to, but, you know, if you want to make the most of your food buff, you will. So, it's already a bit of a problem. But this suggestion, here's your play spot. Here's your play spot. Here's your play spot. Where else do we have any? I don't fucking know. Not that many, actually, in Renacida. But, you know, you get what I mean. It's like, you just get these echoes, and then you sit here, you camp these fucking tacit fields. For all intents and purposes, you just camp one. Once you get what you want out of the echoes, you just sit in one and you endlessly fucking farm as much fucking money as you're willing to throw at the game. GG. So I think that it's quite remarkable that people did not get on Ryuuku's ass for this. Because that's what will happen to the game. Because anyone semi-smart will just come to the same conclusions I did. I got my fucking echo. I'm just gonna fucking sit on it. I don't really think there's any point to watching anything else. You've all already seen it. So it doesn't matter the numbers on any of this shit. Higher or lower, the effect will remain the same, or it will just be a useless mechanic. So, and St. Tantas is ultimately correct that, you know, the whales, they got a lot of pull. They got a lot of pull for obvious reasons, because why the fuck would you not listen to them? They're your biggest spenders. For every whale that spends 1,000 fucking bucks a month, is like however many people that spend nothing a month. The whales are paying for even people like me that do spend a little bit, but, you know, divide 1,000 by 15 and, you know, you get however many people are subsidized by the whales to play the game for like 15 bucks a month. That's not to talk about free-to-play players, because, you know, might as well say that fucking for every 1,000 bucks, 1,000 free-to-play players are subsidized. Whatever, doesn't matter. They don't spend any money, so, you know, catering to them is just kind of stupid, you know, from a business perspective. And that's where Tectone and St. Tantas kind of aligned when it comes to the take. It's a business. They're just gonna listen to the people that give them money. So, you know, if you're a 15 bucks a month kind of spender like me, you ain't got much of a stake in it. Unlike the guy that, you know, apparently can't buy a house because he spent so much money on WuWa or gacha games in general. Yeah. So yeah, I am surprised that no one actually mentioned this. So, yeah, just some food for thought. For, you know, everybody involved, let's just say.